You know, sometimes things can get so bad, you can't even begin to explain it without feeling like the whole world is about to fall apart. But this was different. This wasn't just a bad day or a mistake. This was something planned, something cold. And if it hadn't been for a father's love, a simple, undying love, it could have ended very differently. It was a Saturday. I still remember it like it was yesterday, the kind of day you think will be just like every other weekend. The sun was out, the birds were singing, and for a moment, everything felt perfect. My son, Ryan, was already bouncing around with excitement, ready to take his usual Saturday morning walk to the creek. He was 5, my little guy, with his big brown eyes and that smile that could light up any room. But Ryan, well, he wasn't like the other kids. He had autism. He processed the world in a way that wasn't always easy for others to understand. But to me, it was the way he saw the world, and I wouldn't change it for anything. We'd been living in Brookstone Heights for a few years now, a quiet, suburban neighborhood, a place where you think nothing can go wrong. But oh, how wrong I was. You see, the HOA here wasn't just about keeping lawns mowed and garbage bins out of sight. It was more like a tiny kingdom. And Karen was the queen. I remember the first time I saw her. You couldn't miss her. She was always in the yard, pruning her bushes, adjusting the angle of her garden gnomes, doing anything she could to make sure everything was perfect by her standards. At first, she seemed like just another well-meaning neighbor, someone who cared about the little details, the kind of person who'd smile and wave when you crossed paths. But after a while, something didn't sit right. Her smiles weren't as warm as they seemed. And her eyes? Cold, always watching, always judging. Ryan loved the park near the creek. It was his safe space, where he could enjoy the sounds of the water, feel the breeze, and watch the leaves dance on the surface of the stream. He would hold my hand as we walked, his small fingers wrapped around mine, pulling me along like he was leading me to some secret world only he understood. It was his happy place. It should have been a place for joy, but to Karen, it was a problem. I didn't realize at the time just how much of a problem I was to her, too. You see, the HOA was her domain, and to her, everything had to fit into a neat little box. Ryan's little quirks, his humming, his hand flapping when he got excited or anxious, it was all too much for her. At first, she'd leave anonymous notes in our mailbox, complaining about the noise, the disturbances, the nuisance my son was causing. At first, I tried to ignore it. I thought, it's just some petty complaints. She's just one of those people. But it didn't stop. It never stopped. Then came the first real confrontation. Ryan was in the backyard, playing on his favorite swing. The swing that had been a gift from me, designed to help him calm down. We had this beautiful big tree in the yard, and the swing hung from a thick branch. It was his safe space. But one morning, we woke up to find the ropes slashed, the swing lying in a sad heap on the ground. I knew who had done it. I didn't have proof, but I knew. The next time I saw Karen, she had that look on her face, the smug, I've won look. I tried to report it to the police, but without evidence, nothing could be done. It was just another broken swing, another day of frustration. But it didn't stop. Karen's harassment continued. She pushed harder. The next time it happened was at the community fair. Ryan, excited by the music and the balloons, darted toward the petting zoo. He wasn't running wild. He was just a kid, following his curiosity. But Karen stepped right in front of him, blocking his way. "Watch where you're going, you little menace," she snapped, loud enough for everyone to hear. Ryan froze, wide-eyed and confused. The noise, the confrontation, it overwhelmed him. He started to melt down. That's when I stepped in, of course, to calm him down. "Karen, please," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "He's just excited. He's not hurting anyone." But Karen was whining none of it. "Someone needs to do something about that child," she said, her voice dripping with disdain. "He's out of control. He's a liability." I couldn't believe it. There I was, trying to keep my son safe, and she was attacking him in front of everyone. But that wasn't the worst of it. No, the worst was yet to come. It was the day Ryan nearly died. We were at the creek, just like we'd done 1,000 times before. Ryan, excited to see the ducks, tugged at my hand, pulling me toward the bridge. I didn't think twice. We were alone on the path, the sun casting long shadows through the trees, and everything felt peaceful. Ryan wanted to look over the edge of the old stone bridge to see the water rushing below. It was his thing. He loved watching the leaves float downstream, watching the ripples. But then I heard the click of heels behind us. I turned, already knowing who it was. "Karen." She wasn't just walking by. She was coming for us. Her voice was sweet, too sweet, laced with something sinister. "It's such a lovely day, isn't it?" "Yeah, it is," I said, trying to keep things calm. Ryan, of course, didn't understand the tension. He gave her a shy wave. But Karen, oh, she didn't see a kid with a wave. No, she saw a problem. She saw a nuisance. She took a step closer. "You know, this bridge is becoming quite the attraction for loiterers. The noise, the disruption sits disturbing the peace." I could feel the heat rising in my chest, but I kept my voice steady. "Ryan's not loitering. He's just enjoying the creek." But then, she did it. Her eyes locked on Ryan, and before I could react, she shoved him, hard, right into the river. The world shattered. Ryan's small body tipped over the edge, and I couldn't reach him fast enough. I yelled, lunged, but the current was too strong. My heart was in my throat as I dove in after him. It was chaos. The water was freezing, the debris swirling around me, the current pulling at me, but I couldn't think about that. I had to save him. I swam, fought, until I finally grabbed his jacket, dragging him back to shore. His little face was pale, his eyes closed. He wasn't breathing. I didn't think. I just acted. I laid him flat, tilted his head back, and started chest compressions. I counted, my voice shaking with panic, but the rhythm of the CPR was automatic, ingrained in me from years of training. 1, 2, 3. And then, he coughed. Water splashed from his mouth. His tiny chest heaved, and that was when I heard it. His first weak cry. I pulled him close, shaking with relief, my tears mingling with the river water. He was alive. He was okay. But Karen? She just stood there, watching. Her arms crossed, a small smirk on her face, like she'd won. She hadn't even looked worried. I knew right then this wasn't an accident. This was deliberate. This was personal. The police came. The paramedics came. But Karen? She was still there, making excuses, spinning her story. She claimed it was all an accident, that she was just trying to help. But the evidence didn't lie. The witnesses, the footage, the story, it all pointed to her. And Karen? She never saw it coming. They arrested her. Aggravated assault. Child endangerment. Attempted murder. The community was in shock. My family, thought we had to heal. Ryan had nightmares. He didn't want to go near the water. But slowly, we worked through it. Therapy. Time. And the community? Well, they had to deal with the truth about the woman they'd all trusted. The HOA dissolved. The rules changed. And for the first time, things started to feel right again. But here's the thing, some people still wonder, was it really an accident? Did she truly think she was just protecting the neighborhood? Or was there something deeper, something darker driving her actions? What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Was Karen really just a well-meaning community enforcer? Or did she have something more sinister in mind?